welcome to episode 73 of Fluffy Fibers, the French podcast in English on sewing, knitting and overall making a handmade wardrobe from head to toe. Hello and thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Isabelle and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Fluffy Fibers, and you will find show notes for the podcast at fluffyfibers.com. So thank you so much for joining me today. I do hope you're all doing really well. I'm filming right after episode 72, but I decided to film two separate episodes for this mid-June episode, as I do have quite a lot of sewing to show you, and as is usual for me really in the spring, I tend to sew more and to knit more in the winter, which I think is the case for many people and seems to be quite natural, quite an organic process really, an organic way to deal with seasons and our making. So yes, I have quite a lot of things to show you, and what makes me really happy is that there is something for everyone in the family in what I'm going to share with you today. So yeah, so first of all, what I made, actually I think I had cut out those shirts when I last recorded, and I made 3 t-shirts for Seb. 2 of them are here, the other one he's wearing today. So these are the Metro shirt. Let me show you. So yeah, as you can see, the colours are quite similar because they are colours that Seb favours. So this is the Metro shirt or Metro t-shirt by Oliver & Co. or Liesel & Co. They're the same company really. I think this one is Oliver & Co. And so it's a very simple round neck t-shirt. So yes, and I made a couple of these last year for Seb in this pattern, and they worked out really well. This is quite fitted, and it's pretty difficult for me to find men's patterns that start small enough for Seb, since he's really quite slender. But the first size for this is perfect for him. And so yes, so both of these, and actually all of the t-shirts I made him are made in tencel fabric, lyocell fabric, which is a man-made fibre, like viscose, but with a much lesser environmental impact than viscose, because of the products that they use and the fact that they reuse their water, and also the trees that are used are eucalyptus, and they grow without use of extra water in Europe, just with the rain. So yes, it's a rather sustainable option if you're after fabric that has more drape than cotton, for instance. And they are really great actually. Seb actually absolutely loves this fabric because it breathes really well. It doesn't keep any smell when you're sweating. It doesn't smell actually, which is really nice since we're in such a hot climate here in the summer. And so he has been wearing this in heavy rotation. He wears one every single day, which is why of the 3 t-shirts I made, this one is actually still wet because it's just out of the wash. It was washed this morning. This one is dry, and the other one he's actually wearing. The other one is an oyster grey, like a very light grey. So yeah, he loves them, he wears them all the time. So now he has 5 t-shirts, which is an ideal number for him, so he doesn't need any more. He has a rather minimalist wardrobe really, so this is just fine. So I'm very happy to say that this year I managed to finish making Seb's wardrobe of t-shirts, of handmade, more sustainable t-shirts, which is really, it feels really wonderful. And it also means that now a lot of the times when we're out and about with the kids, we often all of us is wearing a handmade item, which really makes my heart sing. So yes, that was for Seb's t-shirts. It's a really easy design. You know, making a shirt for a t-shirt, making a true shirt for a man is another matter entirely. But making a t-shirt is very straightforward and easy. So yeah. So after that, I'm going to show you something that doesn't really look seasonal at all, because I've had the fabric since Christmas, and I made it, I think, in April. Probably, but in any case, I made it especially for next season, like next autumn, and it is this darling little jacket for my little boy, so sweet, with these little bunny ears in the hood, which I absolutely love. Hopefully you can see this well. So yeah, it's incredibly soft and cozy. My son absolutely loves this. So this is the Grand Ours jacket by Cami. So Cami is a Lyon-based company, so French company, not far from here. And Stephanie designs many. She has, I mean, her inspiration, her creative juices seem to be endless. She's constantly releasing new designs for kids and also for women as well, occasionally, which are also lovely. But her designs for kids are really wonderful, and you know, there's a wonderful attention to detail. They're trendy and beautiful, and yeah. So yes, I had been wanting to make this ever since it came out. This pattern was released, so I'm very happy that I finally made it for my little boy. So as for the fabric, so I made the size 3, and so my little boy is going to be 3 in 2 weeks actually, which is completely insane. But yeah, he's going to turn 3 on July the 1st, and which is Canada Day, I know, and I love this. But yeah, so I made this for autumn for him, and yeah, it's this beautiful terracotta colour that looks amazing on him. He looks great in oranges and browns and reds. And yeah, so this fabric is actually double-sided. So it's a suede fabric on the one side, on the right side, and on the inside it is this very fluffy, like faux fur, super soft and cozy. And actually this means it was a very quick make because you don't need to line it. So you have the option to line it in the pattern, but this version I did not line. And the one thing I did differently is that, so you have different sizes for the ears for each size, you know, kids size. And I decided to cut one ear smaller because I felt it was even cuter this way than having the two ears the same size. And my son loves this so much. He wants to wear it at the moment, and it's currently like 29 degrees Celsius, which I think is probably in the 80s. Not sure if it's in the probably mid 80s, I would say, in Fahrenheit. But yeah, so yes, but I understand it's super soft, and his sister has been wanting one as well. And so I am going to make her a raincoat version, lined, longer, because there is a longer version that you can also make. You can make robes, bathrobes out of, which I actually would love to make for my kids. They would love it as well, with the longer version. And so I actually already cut out her raincoat because she is needing a raincoat. We do tend to have very heavy rains here when it rains, and so she has been needing a raincoat in her size. And so yeah, I don't have the fabric right now. It's a teal blue, no surprise there. She loves teal blue with stars, white stars on it, and I'm going to line it with white organic jersey that I had in my stash. So it's going to be very pretty. So it's all cut out in my sewing room. And yeah, I completely forgot to address the fact that I'm not in my sewing room, but it's just way too hot at the moment to be chatting in my sewing room for you know, an hour or so. So yeah. Yeah, so Yeah, also I think I did some of the finishing differently. I finished this quite a while ago, but in terms of the like folding under of the hood maybe and the sleeves, I can't remember. Maybe the hood, yeah, isn't supposed to be finished with some of the fabric folded under, but I just felt it was neater this way. So I do have to say though that this fabric is not at all in keeping with what I have been striving towards over the past several years now, because I'm sure if you've followed me before, you know that I'm I try to be very mindful of the kind of material that I use so that it's more gentle to the earth, and this is actually, at least part of the fabric is synthetic, but I showed this to Seb, and this is one of the samples showed in the pattern, and I showed it to Seb and he thought it was absolutely wonderful and super cute. And he surprised me with the fabric, and so yeah, he didn't realise it was synthetic, and so that's fine. I mean, honestly, if I had bought a jacket for my son, it would definitely have had some synthetic in it, you know, and not been handmade. And I don't know how, you know, in what conditions the worker would have worked. So, you know, I'm trying not to beat myself up too much, and it's really, really cozy and soft, and he loves it, and it's very, very warm as well. But I did want to mention this because I want to be very transparent about about all of this. But yeah, a very, very cute design. If you're in the market for children's pattern, well, for children's patterns in general, but a raincoat or a jacket in particular, yeah, Kerry has this in the smaller sizes. She has two designs, one for like baby to 3-year-olds, and the other one for kids, really, 4 to 12, I think. Right, so after that I did sew something for me. And I think I may have mentioned this plan in my previous, in episode 70, but I made, and apologies because I just washed this and I haven't had the time to iron it yet, but I made the Kerry trousers by Sew Over It, which is a pattern I've been meaning to make for a while. And so I had this beautiful organic crepe from Amandine, Les Trouvailles d'Amandine. So it's organic cotton, and she is very transparent about showing all, you know, having her fabrics very traceable. And so this particular cotton, which is a very deep aubergine cotton, it's called the shade is called Nightshade. So the organic fibre comes from India, and it is woven and dyed and treated in France. And so I'm just very, very excited to have found this particular fabric. I think I mentioned it in a previous episode, but it really does look like crepe. It's just not as slinky or slippery, but it definitely has the same drape. And so it's perfect for this particular design, which is designed for very flowy fabrics, since it's a wider kind of trousers. So yeah, I absolutely loved the pattern as well. It's a really well designed pattern. It's very well finished. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see this, but it has, so you have pleats at the front, and then you have this pocket here, this pocket cut, and the bias in the diagonal, which really seems to follow the flow of the pleats. So it's really quite nice, I think, a really nice detail. And then the back is gathered with an elastic. So what I really like is that it's comfy, it's easy to fit, and I definitely have an aversion to making trousers because I find them very, very difficult to fit on my particular figure, because I have a very hourglass figure, so it's very difficult, I find, to fit trousers. But these were really easy to fit, and so they're very. I really like the fact that the front is flat, and then you have the the elastic that starts at the hips really to accommodate, to allow you to slip this on. So it doesn't have any zipper in it or anything. So it's a great number, this one, and I'll probably wear it later on in the episode to show it to you with another item that I made to go with it. Yeah, so after this I got really busy sewing more organic fabric, also from Amandine, Les Trouvailles d'Amandine, since so we were invited to the wedding of my very good friend Lise, coucou Lise, who is Lise Taylor, and so we had such an amazing time at Lise's wedding. It was such a beautiful day, and so I wanted to make my dress and my daughter's dress, and I wanted us to match for fun. And so I ordered, so you can see we did match. So this is another organic cotton, also woven and dyed in France by Les Trouvailles d'Amandine. So this is poplin. And I don't know how it will show on screen. It's very, very difficult to capture this colour. And actually when I bought the colour, so the name of the colour is called Tile Blue. And I was really expecting to get some deep, like turquoise blue. But it really leans more towards the green. And it's very, very difficult to render the true colour on screen. And I don't mind that it was different. It's really beautiful and very vibrant. So first off I made my daughter's dress, which is another design by Cami. This is the Stalle dress, which is another design, probably like most of Cami's designs really, that as soon as it came out I knew I wanted to make it for my daughter. And it's such a beautiful, classic, well-made dress really. So you have princess seams, in which you have these ruffles that are caught, so both at the front and the back. The neckline is finished with some binding, which you can see here. I actually bought binding from Les Trouvailles d'Amandine. They had matching binding, which was very handy on their website, and I'm not a fan of making my own binding. So yes, you have a gathered skirt, which is quite wide. The skirt itself is quite loose-fitting, which is perfect for my daughter. And so the main alteration I did was that you are supposed here to have a button. And my daughter's hair is very, very long, and it catches on this kind of buttons. I made her another dress by, actually 4 other dresses by Cami in the same pattern, which was the Corfu dress, which is a knit jersey dress, and it has the same kind of keyhole opening with a button. And I added a button to the first one, and I promptly removed it and replaced it with ribbons. And so all of her other dresses have ribbons instead of the button, because her hair is so very long, it catches on the button, and then it's impossible to unwind because it winds in every direction. And it's very, very long, so yeah, it's just not manageable. So yeah, what I did actually is that I cut the binding to the other side. So the binding that is used to finish, I just cut it much longer. I added quite a bit of length, so it's actually continuous with this binding finish. So that was quite easy to do, I think, and I think it's quite a smooth finish really. So yeah, and I made it quite long, because if you can't wear a longer dress to a wedding, then when can you, right? And also of course because this way she can wear it for many years to come. And yeah, she loved it. She absolutely loved her dress. I think she looks forward to wearing it, later on. The armholes as well are finished with bias binding. I'm not sure how well you'll see this, but yeah. I can't remember actually if this finish for the armholes was in the design or if I just decided to do this. But yeah, very, very nice design. At first we had planned for my daughter to make this dress herself, But after looking at the instructions, I realised that it would be a little challenging, and also that we would probably run out of time to make it before the wedding. However, she did make something for the wedding. She made a pair of little trousers for her little brother in the same fabric, so that was really quite cute. I don't have them, sadly, because we very stupidly forgot them at the wedding venue. So Lise very kindly is going to send them back to me, but yeah, so I don't have them to show to you. But yeah, they were made out of a design from a very well-known book in France, which is Les Intemporels pour Enfants by Citronille. And they use these books, like you have Les Intemporels pour Enfants, pour Bébé, pour Future Maman. And these books used to be very, very fashionable. And so I do have 3 of them, and they do have really nice basics. And indeed timeless, like intemporel means timeless, and they do have indeed timeless designs, like trousers, dresses, little shirts, all in woven fabrics, all with some sort of a retro feel to them. And the only thing though is that the instructions for these trousers made absolutely no sense, like absolutely no sense. I think they told you to sew the fronts together and the backs together of trousers, which of course you can't do that. So yeah, but apart from that, like my daughter cut out the fabric, pinned her fabric, sewed it all together. So the only thing I did is to serge the fabric beforehand, but that's all. I typically actually serge my fabric beforehand, before I sew. If I'm not going to use the serger to actually assemble my items, like sew my clothing together on the serger, then I just typically serge everything before I actually start sewing my piece up. So yeah. So this leads me to my own dress, which I'm wearing, which is, well, it's called Mademoiselle Josephine, but I hate the Mademoiselle term. In French, it's incredibly sexist because you don't have an equivalent term for boys. So a woman is either Madame, married, or Mademoiselle, unmarried, free, young. Whereas men just have Monsieur. And so yeah, it's not a term we use in our household. So yeah, I just call this the Josephine dress. There you go. So this is a dress after my own heart with, you know, a defined waist, lovely. So the best shaping is achieved through these lovely gathers at the shoulders, which is something I love. And you have gathers at under the bust as well. I think you have gathers at the back as well, if I recall. Yeah, and so you have a V-neck line, a very wide waistband that is quite nice because it's contoured here, as you can see. And then a gathered skirt that is not too gathered, like not too little girly, I guess. And so as you can see, so the dress is supposed to be knee length, but I made mine ankle length. So yes, I made mine ankle length for a couple of reasons. First, because I felt it would be more elegant for a wedding, but also because I have quite a number of knee-length dresses in my wardrobe, in my handmade wardrobe, and I felt like a longer dress would be a more welcome addition to it, because I definitely plan, of course, on wearing this over the summer. And so, yes, this is such a beautiful design. If you recall, last time I shared some sewing, which I think was in episode 70, I had made a design by P&M Patterns, which was the mom blouse. And I think I told you how impressed I was. It was my first time using these designs, using a pattern from this company. And I think I told you how impressed I was with the amount of detail in the directions are crystal clear. Everything is thought out so well. It's just so well made from beginning to finish. And this dress was the same. I had the same experience. So it's such a joy to make when you're everything goes so smoothly, you know. And something, yeah, for instance, just to give you an instance of the amount of precision that you have in this pattern, on the fabric layout, like the layout for cutting out your fabric, you actually have little waves to show where you need to serge your fabric beforehand, before you start sewing, which is really, really helpful. So, you know, constantly, you know, you have little details like that all the time, constantly. And so the little sleeves here are actually an add-on that you can find for free on the website. So the designer added a few add-ons like that, I think, a round neckline perhaps, several kinds of sleeves, even an open back, which is so beautiful. Like so many options like that for you to hack the pattern. But everything is downloadable on the website for free with full instructions, which makes this such great value, really. And she does this for all of her designs. So yeah, I really look forward to sewing more of her designs, really P&M patterns. So yeah. So now I'm going to slip on my final piece to show you the fit and how it looks. So I'll see you in a minute. So the last thing that I made is this Cami, this tank top, that I actually also made for the wedding, because on the morning after the wedding there was a lovely brunch, and so it was the perfect opportunity to wear this, since the fabric is a Lise Taylor fabric. So I bought this in Lyon in early April at the Knit Eat Festival, and yeah, so it was a great motivation for me to finally sew it. And I knew from the start I wanted to make a tank top out of it, and I knew from the start I wanted to make it to wear with these trousers. So actually, when Lise released her fabrics, she has two colorways of this beautiful fabric, which is called, so this one is called Pink Meadow, and she has, I think, Green Meadow, or in the Green Meadow, in the Pink Meadow. And the Green Meadow actually leans towards blues, and so, of course, my initial response was that I wanted to get the blue one, the blue-green one. But then I thought, when I looked closely at this particular print, I could see that these darkish flowers were probably the very same colour as my beautiful purple crepe from Amandine. And so I thought it would be so lovely to get a meter of the pink and make a tank top to go with these summery trousers. And so that's what I did, as you can see, and I really love the combination. So the pattern for this, of course there are many patterns for tank tops out there. This one is from a French designer. It's the Narcisse top by Anna Rose. It doesn't have any seam allowances included though. The one thing is that so I already shortened the straps when I made it, and I finished this, to be honest, I finished this at 6 AM on the very day when we left, on the Saturday before the wedding, and so I didn't have time to readjust it, but it was like the straps were constantly falling off. So I did cut out, I think at least in total at least 7 to 8 centimeters out of the straps, but yeah, they do fit nicely now. So I did take out more after I came home. But yeah, it's such a lovely fabric to wear. It's very, like, so lightweight. So this is viscose, and you probably won't be able to see this, but it has a little, like, it's slightly textured. In French we say plumetis. I'm not sure how you say that in English, to be honest. But yeah, it's very, yeah, you can see this actually. It has these very tiny dots, which makes this so nice. It gives an added detail to it. It's very flowy and nice to wear in the summer, really, in warm weather. So yeah. So yes, I really love this top. it's so special in many respects. Yeah, so, and yes, as for my future plans, actually they are very much in keeping with what I shared today, since one of them is in organic fabric and the other one is in Lee's Tailor fabric. And as I was telling Lee's the other day, the only fabric I buy now is either like organic fabric or hair fabric, because both have a lot of meaning to me, either because they're more sustainable or because, you know, hair fabric is very, very beautiful. It also is printed in France and it's designed, you know, by hair, so they're very, very special and very beautiful. So yes, so first of all, I cut out another pair of Kerry trousers, since I love these so much, and I cut them out in my other fabric from Lee's, from her spring collection. And actually the point when I made these purple trousers was also that I wanted to test them out, to test out the pattern, to see if that was what I wanted to make with this fabric. Because, so the other fabric I got is the blue peony, which is so beautiful. And I was just a little concerned that the flowers might be a little too big, especially as I'm very short, but yeah, after trying out this pattern, I'm sure, this trousers pattern, I'm sure they will work out. So I actually cut them out. I had just enough fabric. So over it tend to be very, very generous with their fabric recommendations. Like, they make you buy much more fabric than you need, for smaller sizes anyway. And especially since I'm short, and so I typically hack off quite a bit of length, and so I was able, I think they recommend 2.3 meters for the Kerry trousers, and I was able to squeeze them onto a 1.3 meter cut of fabric, which was a bit tricky but worked in the end, especially as these are a directional print, so the flowers have to lie in a certain direction. But yeah, so I'm very, very excited to be making these shortly. And finally, I just bought some more organic fabric from Amandine, Les Trouvailles d'Amandine, and actually it just finished drying, so I received it yesterday morning and washed it straight away, as I always do with my fabric. And so it is this lovely chambray, also dotted chambray, which is completely reversible, so you can use either side or both sides. But I'm going to use this darker side. So this is called Lagoon, it's a Lagoon colorway, and the drape is absolutely lovely on this. And what I'm going to make with this is another Anna dress by Hand London, because my Anna dresses are hands down the dresses I wear the most in the summer, and our summers last a long time here, and so and it's really hot, so you do need to have quite a few dresses in rotation, and so yes, I decided to make another one. My favorite dress, I think, in my whole closet, definitely the one I wear the most, is a red floral Anna, which you have, if you follow me on Instagram and if you follow my stories, I often show pictures of my handmade outfit for the day, and yeah, Anna, my red floral Anna, has been very much featured lately, and so I also shared a picture, almost a picture a day, for Me Made May in my stories. You can find a highlight on my Instagram account if you're interested. So yes, so I have 3 Anna dresses, 2 with the scoop neck, which is rather high, as many people have remarked, and then 1 with the v-neck, and yeah, I definitely love the v-neck more, so I'm going to make a v-neck Anna, knee-length Anna, out of this fabric, and I'm very, very excited about that. So yes, so that's it for today. I do hope you enjoyed seeing all my makes since last time, and I do hope you too have been enjoying your making lately, and that you've been also inspired with your friends making and the people you follow on Instagram or YouTube. And yeah, until next time, I wish you all very, very, very well, and I hope your making brings you joy. Bye bye.